Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Wraith here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how you can start gaining more confidence in Fortnite, become a little bit more calm during games, because I know a lot of people tend to get a little bit panicked or stress out, miss their shots, miss their edits, and then end up dying or choking. So in today's video I'm going to be basically going over some tips to help you guys remain calm and get some confidence in Fortnite. So if you're looking forward to this video, make sure you slap a like button on it, comment what you want to see for a future video, hit that subscribe button, use creator code WraithFN in the item shop, and let's get right into today's video. So for my first tip that so many people tend to not do, which is just super bad, like you definitely need to be doing it every single day, is not having a proper warm-up. So there's tons of things that can basically come because of that, and the number one thing is you're just going to feel sluggish overall. Like you're not going to feel good, you're not going to feel warmed up, you're not going to feel ready to go, you're going to feel like you're missing your shots in key situations, you're going to be missing shots, you're going to be missing edits, you're just not going to feel as smooth as you normally would. It's especially on tournament days, or if you're about to hit a like 4 or 5 hour grind session on a weekend or something like that, make sure you hit a proper warm-up, and that can kind of consist of anything. Like I've made warm-up videos in the past, but make sure you kind of warm up to how you like to warm up. So for example, if you're on keyboard and mouse, maybe just hitting a little bit of Kovacs or an A map or something like that for like 10-15 minutes, and then hitting some editing courses, and then maybe do a little bit of box fighting before you get in your game. That way you're just going to make sure all your editing, your aim, everything is kind of up to par, and you're feeling good, you're feeling ready to go. If you're controller, maybe just doing some edit courses, some box fights, and then getting right into it. You don't really obviously need to worry about your aim or anything like that, but yeah, just do anything that works for you. If it's not a tournament day, or even if it's just like you're playing the game, if you have a little bit of time, in my opinion, still spending 10, 15, even 20 minutes just warming up by doing something like outside of arena or outside of a tournament or outside of grinding, whatever you're doing, just playing a little bit of like those creative games or custom matches or whatever, is just going to help you feel overall a lot better, a lot more confident in your ability, because you're not going to feel like, if you're feeling sluggish, you're not feeling ready to go, and then you get into an end game, whether it's arena, whether it's a tournament, you're going to be like, hey, well, what happens if I miss this edit? What happens if I miss a shot because I haven't warmed up? I'm not feeling good, blah blah blah, right? So just getting a warm up in, spending 10, 15, 20 minutes is just super important, whether it's a tournament, a grind session, whatever you do. If you have the time, trust me, hit a proper warm-up. So my next tip is not having enough experience in whatever situation causes you to get nervous. So what I mean about that is basically you got to kind of decipher for yourself, or even ask your friends if you don't know, but you should be able to figure out by yourself, is when do you get nervous? Like what is it that inside of the game when you're playing, what makes you nervous? Is it when you're end game and you're going to rotate and you're just scared everyone's going to shoot you in the lobby, or you're scared you don't know how to tunnel properly, or is it in a fight you're scared you're going to miss an edit, you're going to miss a shot? Is it just whenever someone W keys you or pushes you, you're scared? Like what is it that actually makes you nervous? When do you tend to choke? Do you just feel like you're missing a bunch of shots? Do you feel like you're missing a bunch of edits? Whatever the case is, right? Basically you got to figure that out, find it out, either watch your old VODs, or like just literally right after you die and you're like, okay, I was pretty nervous there, I just choked my shot, I just choked an edit, I just choked my rotation there, whatever the case it was. After you die, write it down on a piece of paper and then start working on what it is that makes you nervous. So for example, do you get nervous end game because you don't know how to rotate properly, or you maybe don't have the best tunnels, or whatever the situation is? Then maybe go into like a creative, practice your tunneling, go into the solo zone wars and practice tunneling endgame, because it's a smaller space with a bunch of people. Then you can practice a little bit more tarping, you can practice rotating earlier, whatever the case is. Go in a custom, start playing customs more, start finding Discord customs where you can go in and practice solely end games, because obviously there's zone rules and stuff like that. Do you get nervous in a box fight? Go into a box fight creative, start playing creative box fighting. Practice that peanut butter edit, practicing hitting your shots and then reclosing the edit and then holding the wall, whatever the case is, right? Whatever you find you tend to keep dying and you tend to keep getting nervous about, figure it out and then go and start practicing it. There's tons of ways that you can practice almost any single in-game situation inside either a creative game, custom game, or just like a zone war or something like that. Now my next tip is kind of a weird one, but trust me, it works so much, and shout out to Destiny Jesus for this. I've talked about it in a couple videos, but I haven't brought it up in a while. If you get nervous in tournaments or something like that, or an arena, trust me, chew gum, like chew mint gum. I don't know the exact psychology behind it, but I've tried it. I've had people comment me in the previous videos that I've talked about it, where they're like, this actually works. chew mint gum when you're playing a tournament, or even if you get nervous in arena. Trust me, I don't know exactly what it is. I'm just gonna kind of take a guess and just say it basically takes your mind off like the nervousness and then more focuses on the chewing, even though you're still paying attention. The game, obviously, it's not like you're not going to be able to pay attention, but trust me, just try it out. Literally buy a pack of the mint gum, try it out in an arena, try it out in a tournament, and I guarantee you it will help calm your nerves. Another thing that you can do, and this kind of depends for person to person, is I personally find it really good, is I listen to Spotify when I play in tournaments, and I don't listen to it at a very big volume. Like when I'm in fighting, I can't even hear the music, but if I'm just rotating and I'm just like walking or running or sprinting or whatever the case is, I can hear the music, and I don't know, it just calms me down, kind of chills me out. It makes me think I'm just in an arena or something like that, and I tend to not get as nervous. But obviously you don't want it blasted to the point where if you're fighting, you can't hear someone rotate next to you. If someone's walking behind you, you obviously don't want it to be loud enough where you can't hear them. So you can kind of try that out. Obviously don't go straight into a tournament and throw in music. Just try it out in an arena, something like that, see if it's for you. If you're on console, obviously you can't really do that, but if you're on PC, maybe try it out and kind of see how you feel. So now the biggest thing I kind of feel that a lot of people die to, and then that's where they end up choking, is their aim. Like a lot of people panic and then they whiff their shots, or they just get nervous and they miss their shots, or they'll do an edit or whatever, and then they'll end up dying before they can get a shot, or they miss it, or whatever the case is, right? So having good aim, I mean, is just so important, because it can get you out of so many bad situations. You can be completely boxed, like you can get just boxed like a fishy, and you can just get bailed out by a charge, or even like a purple tack or blue tack. You can still do 120 to 160, whatever damage it is, and just absolutely annihilate the person. So having good aim allows you to get out of a lot of situations where you might end up choking in, right? So for example, like I said, if you're box fighting someone, you get completely boxed, someone might in that case be like, oh, I'm dead, like what am I gonna do, right? But really good players like Benji, or pro players, or even some players who are pretty good but have very good shotgun aim or something like that, they're like, hey, well, when this person edits on me, I'm just gonna hold my shotgun and then get an easy like 100 plus damage shot, right? Which might not end up killing them, but hey, you never know, right? They could be low. Hopefully you've weakened them a little bit in the fight. If not, obviously without pumps in the game, you can't really 200 them. But trust me, getting your aim up and practicing on your aim will get you out of so many situations where in reality, if you don't have good aim, you might be nervous. You might be like, okay, I'm gonna die here. If you're low HP, you're like, hey, like I'm at 30 HP end game, like I'm gonna die, or what am I gonna do, right? You start getting nervous, you start getting shaky. But if you rely on your aim, you're like, hey, you know what? I know I can hit a 160 damage tack, or I know I can hit a 190 damage charge, or whatever the case is, right? Then you are confident you're going to start being more intertwined with your ability. Be like, you know what, I can do this, right? So trust me, having solid aim is going to get you out of so many situations, which in turn is going to help your confidence, help you remain calm, because you know you can trust your aim and you can always get out of bad situations because of it. So now the next reason you might be getting a little bit nervous in fights, or whatever the case is, just because you haven't fought enough. And what I mean about that, you guys might just be like, well, I've been playing for 7 seasons. I've been playing since season 6 and I still get nervous in fights. Well, what you need to do, and in my opinion, this is literally the biggest and best way you can start kind of calming your nerves if you just get nervous when fighting people. Like I said, endgame or box fighting people or whatever, go into creative and practice on that. But if it's just when someone pushes you, or you're pushing someone and you get nervous, you just need to practice fighting people more. Like you need to go into an arena and literally just W key everyone you see. I don't care if you lose points. If you're like, obviously if you're grinding to champs to get into a tournament or something like that, and you need to get to champs or whatever the case is, then sure, play a little bit more past that. But once you get to champs, or you don't care about getting to champions yet, literally just practice W keying. Practice fighting everyone you see. Even if you're low HP, if you lose points, whatever. Obviously, like I said, if you're grinding for champs, don't do that. But if you're not, or if you're already in champs, just practice W keying. This will help you in so many ways. People will end up pushing you, and you can practice fighting them, and then basically you can practice fighting people by you pushing them. And trust me, the best way to kind of get rid of nerves and get rid of choking and panicking is literally just by putting yourself in the situation as much as possible. That's the same thing as what I was talking about, where if you get nervous in end games, or you get yourself nervous in box fighting or whatever the case is. Literally just put yourself in that situation, and the more you do that, the more calm you're gonna feel, because you're like, okay, I've done this 100 times, I've W keyed 1,000 players, like I'm confident in my fight, like why would I be nervous? This is the same people I fight in arena, this is the same person I fight in creative, or whatever the case is, right? Just doing the situation tons and tons of time will help you remain a lot more calm and a lot more confident in your ability. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. If it does, make sure you slap a like button on it. Comment what you want to see for a future video. Hit that subscribe button. Use code WraithFN in the item shop. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.